Turn my feet up.
Okay, we are recording.
Okay, well, welcome to everyone to the Easton Library meeting for April 19th, 2021. This is a Zoom meeting as allowed by law by New York State Governor. We'll start with a roll call so people know who's here. I'm Linda Borden, President. I'm present. Mary Jane Connor.
Present.
Peter Reed.
Present.
John O'Brien is not able to join us. Patricia McPhee has not connected yet, but we're expecting her to join us. Nellie Lewandowski.
Here, sorry, I didn't know how to unmute.
Okay. And Chelsea Henderson.
Here.
So we have a quorum and we'll begin our meeting. Are there anyone from the public with us that would want to comment? Jennifer, can you see any public attendees?
There are no public attendees.
Okay, so we will move past public comments. And does anybody have any additions to the agenda? I sent us all an agenda. Anybody have anything you want added that I may have forgotten? So we will proceed then to the meetings from the previous regular meeting. On February 22nd, 2021, we had a meeting. Jennifer recently sent us a copy of the minutes, so I hope everyone had a chance to look at them. Are there any corrections to these minutes? Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as submitted?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as submitted.
Second to that motion?
I'll second that motion.
I heard a motion from Peter and seconded by Mary Jane to accept the meeting minutes of February 22nd, 2021. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? We'll move on to the treasurer's report. Peter emailed us the treasurer's report. Does anyone have any questions for Peter or discussion? Peter, anything outstanding about the report that you feel you should tell us?
About the report, no. I see you've got under business, my concerns about, getting an accountant and check signing. So should
Yeah.
we wait for that or?
Yeah, we'll
Can we
take
get-
that up on old business and new business.
Okay.
If there's no discussion about the treasurer's report, can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Chelsea made a motion, second. I'll make a motion to second the report. So we have a motion by Chelsea, second by Linda to accept the treasurer's report. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Quick question for you, Linda.
Yes.
When we're running into the treasurer's report, can I make a motion to accept or can I second it? Or because I'm the treasurer, I shouldn't be doing that?
I don't know, Peter. We can look that up. I'll make a note. How's that?
I'm sorry,
Peter.
I tried to second it, but I couldn't find the unmute button again, so.
Yeah, you were
I'm
miming
just-
it.
I was like, my husband's mowing the lawn, so.
Yeah, that's funny.
Finally, a nice day to mow the lawn, right?
It's gorgeous. For President's report, I don't have anything outstanding to report. I wanted you all to have in writing that the Sal's annual meeting is going to be virtual. Unfortunately, we still need to remain isolated. So on May 17th at 7 p.m., It will be a virtual meeting. Usually all trustees attend, their guests can attend, anyone can attend these meetings when we have them in person. Directors attend, staff members attend. So Jennifer, if you'd like to pass on the invitation to our staff members so they know that they're always welcome to attend the actual one, and certainly the
Absolutely.
virtual one.
Yes.
I don't really, I know there's going to be a speaker at the meeting, so that might be interesting. I imagine we'll get a Zoom invitation, and I hope you all get one directly to your email. Jennifer, do you know anything about how they're going to invite people to this?
All as I know is that I got like a pre-invitation, I want to say in March, to notify everybody of the meeting. So when I get the invitation for the meeting, I'll make sure it's forwarded to everyone so they have the invite. Just in case you don't get a personal one to your email, because I have
Good.
no idea what they have planned.
Thank you. I don't know how they will go about inviting everyone. Nellie, so usually we all get together and we go up to a restaurant, and everybody from the Sal's area, which is all the different counties that Sal's services, all the libraries get together and we have our annual Sal's meeting. They give their treasurer's report for the year. They elect new trustees. And then there's usually a speaker of interest about libraries, and then a dinner. But due to COVID, obviously, you'll have to do dinner at home on your own. So I hope, though, when it's advertised, you attend, just so you can hear the speaker and, you know, see what a meeting is almost like.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
So that'll be great, Jennifer, if you can forward that in case we don't get our own invitations. I really don't know what they plan to do. So that's really all I have for a report. I know Jennifer's got a nice meaty report, lots of stuff happening at the library. So I'll let Jennifer get started.
Hi, everybody. It's a long report, so I will try to go through it quickly, but hopefully make sense. I've got a list. So I wanted to let everybody know that the genealogical records that Doris worked on, I know I mentioned it at a board meeting a while back, but they are now on our website, and we've actually had several people use it and access it and request materials from it. So that is wonderful. I participated in Carrie Warner's meetup via Zoom on March 3rd, and the topic was library funding. So she was just interested in knowing how libraries were doing it and what projects they were interested in starting up this year. So I got a chance to speak, and I won't go, it's kind of long-winded. I won't go into it at this meeting, but if you want to ask me, you know, when you see me, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. I took 25 signatures to Annie Miller on February 26th for the Greenwich Central School tax vote. So that's out of the way. Easton Library received a donated book from, the donated book was called Tales of the Dairy Godmother, Chuck's Ice Cream Wish, from the Washington County Farm Bureau, the Washington County Fair, and the Washington County 4-H Leaders Association for the 2021 New York Agricultural Literacy Week, which was back in March. And staff member Amarise. She recently volunteered to read the book to represent our library. The reading of the book is posted on our website, and it's also on Facebook and Instagram. Easton Library received $600 from the Stewart's Holiday Match Grant that Chelsea applied for back in January.
Yay, Chelsea.
Thank you, Chelsea, again. And I sent off a thank you note to Stewart's and telling how appreciative we were for the money. There was a lot of competition for the money. They give out a lot of money to a lot of people. So we were very fortunate to receive what we did. This money is earmarked for our 2 summer reading programs hosting West African drummer Bemba Bengoria. Our 2 summer reading programs, Chelsea and I have decided they're going to be held at the Washington County Fairgrounds. One of them is going to be on July 7th, and the other one is going to be August 11th. So I'm super excited because it's going to be our first in-person, well, I don't know if it's going to be our first in-person event, but right now I'm predicting it's our first in-person event. So Jeff Moses began the install of our new carbon monoxide fire detectors exit signs with lighting and shelves for expansion of storage of our audiobook collection on February 20th, and he completed the project on April 3rd. So I'm very excited that that has all come to a conclusion. So that was a long drawn out project. So 3 mini PCs and 2 removable DVD players arrived on March 23rd. And it was up to us to install the hardware. Sal served as a backup, but thank goodness it was successful. It went well, so it's all in. Then I wanted to remind Linda to please sign the JA agreement and review it. It is due to Sal's by April 30th.
I'll stop in the library.
Okay, thank you. I attended a briefinar for the New York State Library Association on April 5th on hunger solutions. But I don't think that Easton Library has the right setup to offer meals to kids at this point, and especially due to our open hours. But I had an idea that maybe at some point we might be able to offer afternoon snacks 2 or 3 times a week, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. But that's kind of just an idea I had rolling around, when coronavirus is under control and down the road. It's kind of a interesting thought to maybe do something like that. I attended the Sal's virtual summer reading program on April 7th, hosted by Sal's staff member, Jack Scott. I learned what other libraries are doing for summer programming. Jack shared many handy resources, and the 2021 collaborative program was addressed. On a personal note, Joanne Booth, who has been doing our story hour for 15 years, she called me the other day and told me that she's no longer going to be doing story hour. So I have to respect her decision, and it's very sad. So just wanted to let the board know that. And I am working on the plan of service selection that targets our farming books. I've looked at all the farming books and compiled a list. Most of the books were reshelved, a few were withdrawn. Aaron Gabriel is employed by Cornell Cooperative Extension, and he will be working with me to make decisions on purchases of new books for our farm collection. When the time comes, I will need to spend money on new books. I was wondering if the board would mind if I requested to use some of the money donated to the library by Joe and Judy Moore. So
Peter, I think we have to ask Peter if any stipulations came with that money, or what do you think about that, Peter?
I think it's a good idea. I think if we do it, we should advise them what we did with the money.
absolutely,
So,
yes.
but
Okay,
yeah, I don't think there'd be a problem. There's no restrictions on use of the funds.
okay, I think it would be ideal, since the money was donated in memory of farmers and a farming family. So I think it's actually ideal to be able to tell them that some of that money went for that project. So I think it's great. What do the rest of us think about that?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Great use of the funds.
Agree.
Thank you.
Has my support.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds good. Can you
Yeah.
tell me again the name of the family that donated the money?
Joe and it's actually Joseph and Judy Moore, Moore. And Judy is an Allen from the Allen farm.
Oh, okay. Yep.
She's the oldest daughter, I think, of Norman, and Gertrude Allen.
Okay. Got it.
So Jennifer, I can't remember, or Peter, when that money was it donated in memory of
Gertrude,
Gertrude and her husband?
it's very possible, or they could have just made a straight out donation. I'll have to look back because they've been so generous to us over the course of several years that, yes, I'll have to look back to see what the exact, target was for their donations.
My memory is that it's a straight donation. That-
Okay,
Yeah,
It's been an ongoing donation,
yes.
not connected to a memorial.
so when we write the thank you, we can just mention what it went for, and, to support farming in our community.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm still in the beginning stages, and I will, come to the board and, I'll probably email everybody a list of what the books are to be purchased, and I'll probably give you a budget total of, what they are, and let you know, so you can see with your own eyes how much I need to spend. But that's, it's going to take me a little bit to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be a little lengthy project. I know you have to coordinate with Aaron and decide, see what he suggests, and yes, so that'll be fine.
Okay.
But
All right.
sounds like a good project that you're working on. And I think it's wonderful because that was one of our plan of service goals for our 5-year plan. So I'm really thrilled that you sunk your teeth into that one already, Jennifer. Great job.
Yeah, well, it's a big plan of service. We got to do something with it, right?
Yeah, great.
We worked hard on it, Linda.
We did, but I'm glad you started it off. Great.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm almost done, I promise. I have a couple more things to say. Sarah Dallas emailed the directors last week on April 15th, and she told them that the SALS and MVLS will stop quarantining delivery material beginning May 3rd. The decision was discussed at the SALS Director Council meeting. And the reason they did that, they looked at recent data from the CDC. And after discussion with Linda, and I told Linda how I felt and my staff members, and I think we're all in agreement that I would like to have our library continue quarantining books from the delivery and from the patrons for 48 hours. I don't think it's going to hurt anything to add 2 days to the quarantine. I think this data is too recent. Not that I want to say I don't trust what the CDC says. I just would feel more comfortable, and I think my staff would feel more comfortable just leaving our policy the way it is for now. So I just wanted to let everybody know in case you heard something about that. And then I am investigating opening to our next level, which is service level C, but I am waiting for our coronavirus numbers in the area to decrease. As I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but the numbers are still pretty high. I know that the governor is, he's under a lot of pressure to open things back up. But I still think that our little library, I think we've been pretty lucky so far. I'd like to have more data about this new touch thing with the CDC. Maybe they'll come out with more data in a few more weeks. I was going to order keyboard coverings for the patron keyboards, but maybe we don't need keyboard covers. Maybe just cleaning them with alcohol will be enough. And then Linda and I were talking about putting barriers up with plexiglass or shower curtains or something like that. But then we were thinking that maybe if we use computer number 1 and number 5, that would be enough distance between people to make them safe. So I'm thinking about it, and I just want to see those coronavirus numbers come down, and I'm thinking 2 to 4 weeks, and so.
I agree, Jennifer. On the rating scale, Washington County is still very high risk.
It is.
In the New York Times, you can look up your county, and we're still in very high risk range. And we only have you in the pages. And so if one of our staff is out, we're really in close down mode, and we don't want to put ourselves at risk to have to close down. So I say slow and steady.
And the other thing of is it not that I want to I'm going to put my personal business on view for everybody, but my second coronavirus shot is tomorrow. So I still have to wait 2 weeks to be, feel like I'm safe. I still have, a little.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't want to, yeah.
And I know my staff still, they're newly vaccinated. So, I'm watching out for them as well. So, and just also to let you know, we have about 7 minutes left on our meeting.
So, Jennifer and I really feel, as you just said, Mary Jane, that, slow and steady. There really is no harm to continuing to get books from Sal's and just holding them for 48 hours before we distribute them to our patrons. And as far as opening to level C, there's just so much up in the air. And as she said, do we go ahead and buy all this plexiglass and then get told, oh, you really don't need it, or maybe we could do something a different way? So we definitely have to review what we're going to do. And I think we'll wait a couple weeks to see if any new information comes up and if those numbers in Washington County go down again. So anybody else want to comment on that before we move on to old business? Okay, so Peter, I guess I'm going to ask you, because I found this on our old business from a previous meeting, internal controls and financial accountability plan. Are we still working on that? Did I miss that in Florida? What happened?
I don't remember now.
We're
I thought
still
we had one in
on it.
place.
We're still working on it?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so I'm
Yeah,
just
say
gonna.
we're still working on it.
All right, so Jennifer, I'm gonna ask you to contact Peter about that.
Okay,
And, all right, and discuss that and to see if we can come up with a proposal at our next meeting.
okay,
That we both agree on.
okay.
Yes, both agreement would be good. We also need a second signer for check writing. Peter brought up to me in an email that John had volunteered. Right now we have Pat Ruppel as our second signer and she's no longer a trustee. So John, though, has not been able to make contact with Peter at the same time at the bank. So
We both have to go to the TD bank and go through it and set it up. So we haven't been able to do that. We were gonna do that like a year ago and we never got together and managed to do it. So just keep in mind, right now, I suppose if something happens to me and get Pat to come in, she'd always be willing to.
yes, I don't know if legally she can as not being a trustee though. I don't mind doing this, but as president, I'm wondering if it's a conflict of interest in some way that I'm playing too many roles. Any of you on other boards or
5
Mary-
minutes.
Any comment on that, Mary Jane, or anybody else who knows?
I think it's okay if you're, I think it's okay. I think it's a rare occasion that it happens. So I think it's okay. I think the person who is the person needs to be somebody that's has some availability and is close by during the day. Like that's the problem for me, is that if something came up and Peter wasn't available, I couldn't get there quickly. And the other thing is
Normally,
just when you're on vacation, right? If you're on vacation, if you went to California or something, just to have somebody available.
I'll pull Linda and go down south for, like 6 months or was it 2 months?
2 months, Peter. I wish it were 6.
Yeah, I am happy to volunteer to be a second signer if you are looking for someone. And we live on the same road, Peter. So
Excellent.
I know where to find you walking on River Road, right?
This is true. It's
Hopefully
just a matter
not
of
with the
if-
checkbook.
And I work
Yeah.
locally, either from home or in Schuylerville. So I'm happy to
would
do that
probably
if you
be
need someone.
ideal.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do
so
it.
we just have to coordinate getting up to TD Bank so we can get this straightened out. So,
Okay, I'll call you this week and we can do that.
okay. And I'll
Excellent.
call TD Bank and talk to them.
Okay.
That's all.
Or other old business I thought of, Peter, what's our status with the New York Library Association membership? Did I miss that? Did we join individually? What happened?
We joined, didn't we?
We joined, yes. I still have not received the bill yet from Sal's. So I don't know.
Oh,
But I
all right.
joined, I was in contact with Diane Winter, so she knows, and yeah. We have 2 minutes. Do you
Did
want,
people,
do you
did
want
people
me
get this
to,
in the mail?
Yeah, I got one of those.
do you want me to
Jennifer,
send everybody a new link to another meeting?
yeah, I think that's a good idea. So we don't feel rushed.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds good. We only have, yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so if it ends, we'll go to your new link, okay?
Yes.
So, all right, well, I just wanted to check. Now we know we did join New York Library Association membership. New business. Peter brought up to me that nobody's looked over the books except Peter and us for our usual monthly review of his financial report. But as far as a real auditor, anyone looking out for the finances, we haven't had that done in many years. So he wants to know if we can hire an accountant for auditing that. I think that's a very safe and important thing to do. I know actually we should be audited yearly to protect our treasurer. So I think it's a wonderful idea, and I really want you to do that, Peter.
Okay,
Other opinions about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I actually didn't realize that you didn't have that support. So I think it's very necessary.
yeah, our funds have gone from like 10 years ago, we had a account balance of under 60,000. Now we've got 260,000. So it has gone up
Mhm.
considerably. So I think we definitely need an auditor, accountant to come on in and review everything.
I don't know anyone in particular. I suggested we check with Bob Jeffords. He's the paid treasurer at Sal's, so he is very aware of library type bookkeeping, aware of grants coming in and going out for library things. He might be a good person to ask. Anybody else have any recommendations? We'll let Peter go through a list of them if you do, and see who he thinks he can work with and what they're going to charge us.
Who does Greenwich have for an accountant? Does anybody know?
I don't.
Greenwich Library?
Yeah,
You mean
I'm
their
not sure.
treasurer? You mean
Huh?
you mean who's their treasurer, or who do they use as
no,
an
who's the
accountant?
accountant?
All right, recording.
She's
Part
recording.
2.
So this is Linda Borden continuing the Easton Library meeting of April 19th, 2021 on Zoom. We ran out of Zoom time, so this is part 2. We were discussing Peter's request for an accountant to audit the finances, and just about to give him permission to investigate who would be available. So more discussion on that from anyone?
Well, what I had originally asked was who was the accountant for Greenwich Library? I know they've got one, because I saw something in one of the papers about it.
I do
Nobody
not
knows?
know, don't know. I know Bob Jeffords was on their board of trustees at one time, but I don't know if he is now their accountant or still on the board of trustees. I do not know that.
Okay. I can find out. If I have to,
Okay,
I'll just call Annie.
Peter, do you think this is something that you can investigate this month and get back to us with the salary cost, or how much the person would charge, so that we can then vote to approve the funds next meeting?
Yes. Yes, I can have that handled by next meeting.
Okay, I think that'd be great then. Anybody else have any comments about this?
And I can make a couple of recommendations, but I think finding out who Greenwich Library uses is wise. But I'll make a couple of other area recommendations.
Why
Okay,
don't you
so
send me an email?
Yep.
sounds good. So we did not have any other additions to the agenda. So our next item is set next, sorry, go ahead.
Excuse me. I would like to go back to my report for a second. Does anybody think we should do anything for Joanne Booth?
Oh, that would be nice.
Any suggestions for
Hmm.
thanking her? Or shall we think about it and
We can send her some flowers.
send her
Tis the
flowers?
season.
Stick them in some compost.
Yeah, right. I was thinking
No,
of
try-
that, but I thought that was,
Um, Yeah, some flowers, or if there's maybe a certain book, since she did story time for so many years, if there was a
Oh,
book we could think of that would be really fitting. Maybe Mary Jane has an idea.
I was just saying that I wouldn't want to tell her what we're giving her in case she watched our meeting.
Oh,
true. That's true. Oopsie. Okay. That is-
It's unlikely, but I thought we should definitely give her something.
Okay, all
so
right.
maybe email about it.
Email.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Okay.
Has she been actively doing readings recently, Jennifer, or not for this year?
Not for this year. No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Are you looking for someone to replace her when that opens again?
I probably, well, I'll have to call Carol Reeve because I know she was doing it with Joanne. I have a sneaking suspicion that she probably won't come back if Joanne is not coming back. So,
Oh, I
Okay.
hope she does. I hope she
But-
does anyway.
yeah, so, but yeah, I'll have to talk to Carol, over the summer, and if, if we think that we can have, that kind of programming at our library. But I don't want to, get planned too far ahead, if we can't do anything. So,
Well, can I just throw out an idea? If you all are open to it, if you did find someone who was comfortable doing a virtual platform, having a virtual story time from the Easton Library, but just keep us posted if you,
yeah,
that would be.
I mean, who would do that though? I mean, technology is, I don't think Carol has that kind of a interest in technology, what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, so it'd have to be someone else who's
yes.
comfortable with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let us know, and that I might have some ideas in that realm.
Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, Aaron's calling.
Hey,
Excuse me a second.
he has his board meeting timer.
Hi, Aaron. I'm good. How are you?
Tell him we miss him.
Okay.
Chelsea, would it be Zoom that they do the story time through?
Could be anything. So you will remember the Schuylerville and Greenwich
Right.
Library, and you participated in that. So it could be a pre-recorded video that's then just released a certain day. So even with Carol, if someone was willing to record her reading a story, and then it could just be released.
How do you
Um,
release that? Like just over social media, you mean?
Yeah, social media and a newsletter. But the way the Greenwich and Schuylerville collaboration does it is through their Facebook pages.
Oh, right.
And they just put it out at the same time every Wednesday morning. And Hudson Crossing Park is also part of that. So, but Easton Library could even jump in with them. They always
Right.
say the more the merrier.
Mhm.
Chelsea, do you know how many people to go in and listen to it? Because then you
Yes.
could keep track, right? Then you would know how many people were.
Yeah, so originally they were doing it live. So it was a live stream, and they would see anywhere from 5 to 30 people in that moment. But then after a while, they started doing the pre-recorded and then editing it together. And now some weeks they get 1,000 hits on a video. So people all over the place are watching them, or maybe some families are repeatedly watching them, which is kind of nice. If they start the story and they get interrupted, they need nap time or something, and then they can actually come back to it. So that's kind of neat.
I do like the pre-recorded because not everybody can watch it that given moment live.
Right.
Right.
It's harder to do it live.
Yeah, and it can get glitchy, like you even see in our meetings where sometimes something will freeze. If someone doesn't have a good internet connection at their home and they're trying to tune in, it can just be a little fuzzy. So, but I know that the families really appreciate it. It's helped them stay very connected all year. To see their librarians, on screen every week makes them feel connected. So that's why I was saying to Jennifer, there is definitely an option, and would have brought it up even before this, but I just wasn't sure what the, the capacity was at the library. But now that I see that she's trying to do some more programming, this might be a good time to try something like that. So
Yeah,
we'll
maybe
see.
even just starting with the Schuylerville and Greenwich one, just to see how it works. And I mean, honestly, even just to get the Easton Library out there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way they're doing it is that Schuylerville Library, Greenwich Library, they switch each week and one of the people does all the editing. So when I was doing the musical part and Nellie, you did the farming episodes, we were just sending them to Holly at the Schuylerville Library and she would just splice everything together. So it was like, here's Rural Soul Music, here's Greenwich Library, here's Schuylerville Library, here's Hudson Crossing, here's Love and Dusky Farm. So it was really beautifully done and they're happy to do it. So I'm sure they would do the same with Easton Library. If we did a segment, share it with them and they would put it in. Yeah.
Is Holly the librarian?
Holly does all of the, I think it's like the middle school and teen educational programming there. So she's a youth programmer. I think that's her title.
Uh-oh, how much time do we have in this meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get lost fast. So,
Yeah.
40 minutes.
okay.
Okay.
So.
So should we
probably got a good
continue?
half hour or more.
Well, yes,
I
the
think
only
that
other agenda item I have is to set our next meeting date. We're up,
Okay.
that's all we need to do, and then we can adjourn. I don't know if Jennifer's got anything pertinent for this meeting with Aaron or what's going on there. So,
can I make a suggestion that we skip May because we'll attend the May 17th board meeting and then reconvene in early June?
I think that's fine. Mary Jane, I'm going to use your memory to help me remember if, is May a month when we usually have any routine things that need to be voted on or discussed? Quick brainstorm of,
I think the only thing is encouraging people to vote for the school budget, but that is something that people could be reminded in an email.
okay, you're right. This, our asking for money will come up in the May school vote.
Yes.
Yes.
But
All right, so let's make-
Traditionally, we haven't met in May because we've all attended the, the only times I think we met in May is when we were having transitions of staff or things like that, but I don't think there's anything that comes up. But Jennifer would know better than I.
all right. Jennifer, welcome back. Anything pertinent to the meeting or shall we move on to setting the next meeting date?
Aaron actually called to talk to me about the books for the plan of service, the farming books. So
Okay.
yeah, so he's working on that. And he said to say hello to everyone.
That's great.
So
So we've left it right now that we're talking about skipping the May meeting on meeting in May, excuse me, unless you think there's anything that we need to vote on that's routine that happens in May. Mary Jane remembers that May is the time we encourage people to vote for school voting, but other than that, I don't think we have anything like budgets that we have to personally vote for the library. So unless you think there's something coming up, we can wait for a early June meeting.
that would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone want to look at your calendars or your phones or wherever you keep your info for meetings now. I'm going to pop up and get mine. So we are looking at Mondays. We've got June 7th, 14th.
I can't do the 14th.
Okay. Let's do the 7th, just because we're gonna skip the whole month of May and, we may have something we want to discuss then. What I'm thinking mainly is we'll be discussing if we want to go to another phase of reopening the library.
Okay.
So,
That works for me.
all right, is May 7th good?
June 7th's good.
June, I'm sorry, June 7th?
And,
It's fine
and
for
then
me.
then we'll also be having our meeting in May on the 17th. We'll come together with the annual
Yes.
meeting for the system.
Yes, we will. You're right. So, June 7th at 7:30 on Zoom, unless the governor changes the rules for that, we may be meeting in person. I don't know.
Well, however you want, because I'll know, I think.
Is that okay with you, Peter? Nellie?
Works for me.
It's fine.
Mhm.
Okay,
Sounds good.
so may I have a motion to adjourn our meeting then?
I make a motion that we adjourn our meeting.
I'll second it.
By Chelsea?
Good job.
That was Nellie.
Oh, was it seconded by Nellie?
Oh,
Nellie got
yes.
in.
She
Hey,
was
Nellie.
right there.
I've had it on unmute. I wanted to wait. I wanted to get there.
You almost dove through your screen.
I wanted to get in the minutes.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
So we'll see you all June 7th at 7:30. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for
Thanks,
coming.
everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye.